What's up, everyone? How's it going? Welcome to today's market analysis and trade recap episode. Today is Friday, December the 5th, and we took two trades today with pretty much the same idea, but one was a winner and one was a loser. But our winner was bigger than our loss. So let's get straight into it. So today coming into the market, hold on. Today coming into market, we saw price, we broke above these imbalance above levels, so I did have a predominantly bullish bias, but I'm just looking to see where liquidity will take us, right? We came up to this region. I wanted to see if price can head and take out this upper liquidity, specifically this upper bookmap zone liquidity that we had on bookmap. And I'll go ahead and show you guys. And I hopped on the market at 8:45 instead of 8:30. Wait, hold on. Yeah, I think I hopped on 8:45 or 8:50, and then I'm pretty sure I missed out on one of these retracement plays for the longs, which would have worked out pretty nicely and much more favorable than the trades which I've actually taken. But we're gonna go over that today as well when we analyze the entire market. But essentially, broke above the high volume node. We expected price to head up until this 4 hour, particularly the top bookmap zone at minimum or this upper bookmap liquidity. And look at what we did. We literally swept the upper bookmap liquidity and then we started to dump. Shows the precision of order flow once again, right? And yeah, I mean, that's basically all I have to say about our plan coming in. Wanted to take longs early in the market, stalled out, then we saw selling action, then we wanted to take shorts. That's basically a quick summary of the day. Now, this video is going to be a bit shorter than my typical market analysis trade recap video simply because I think I can simplify it in a quicker sense for today's action. So on NQ, essentially it was the same thing. We had this 4 hour zone as well. So with that being said, let's get started, right? See what's up at market open. So looks like right upon market open, we have liquidity above all around these regions, and it looks like we're just blasting through them right upon market open. And at 7:30 we did have Canadian unemployment rates, and at 9 we had PCE price index and UOM news, which we did take a 5-minute interval for, and you'll see how the liquidity on Bookmap starts to clear up around that time as well. But yeah, I mean, we're continuing to go up. Here we have liquidity at 6890. Potential retracement play into that could be potentially favorable. Uh, let's see. Hold on. Let's go 8 a.m. 8:30. We headed up, started to retrace. Big buyers here. Like this could be argued as a buyer absorption region. It's just that when this pump came in, the longs could be argued much more than these sells. So let's see what actually has gone on. Because right now, seller urgency is showcasing itself. Icebergs are not too crazy, anything like that. So, I'm trying to. Aha. So he swept that lower liquidity and then those sellers got trapped. Yeah, honestly, I would not have entered in there, I'm gonna be honest. Nothing within a barrier region for me to have my stop defending. Potentially something here though. Let's see if you retrace into that. No, we don't retrace into 8-0. 1728 South Icebergs. That's crazy. 51. We head up and then we take out that 6890 liquidity. Now, as you can see, There's a big bookmap liquidity zone region up there, which is this purple thing that I've marked out on my charts. Now, let's see if there's any signal that we can take to head up there. And predominantly, we want some barriers for retracement or something of that nature. I mean, here we retrace down. Okay. I mean, no trades in, that's within the interval, but look at how the liquidity just right before 9 a.m. Central Time exits, right? You can see that here, you can see that throughout this entire region. It's gone before that 9 a.m. region because nobody's trying to be in news. That's why no matter which orders come in news, we can go up and down super quickly. So we're still in that interval, but now we're starting to go up, and news did come out. The news release did come out to be predominantly positive. You can see that here. And now we're already hella close to this 6900 zone region. So nothing really for us to take. I would have liked to see something I could have taken, but there was really nothing. Maybe there was some seller absorption longs that could be taken here at 925. That's the next thing I'm observing, but let's go ahead and see. We take out those highs. $6,900 is also a psychological level, so it would play significance in that aspect as well. Now, spread is too tight here. Yeah, very tight spread. Don't think I would have taken there. Spread's starting to clear up a little bit. Let's see what the cell absorption thing that happened there. We dropped down, not really at any barrier though. Not seeing any buyer urgency, nothing that I would have entered with. The reason is a lot of these things are random, right? Individuals could say like, we saw seller absorption here, buyers are buying back up, we should head to the 6905 region. Sure, that may work, that may not work, because lots of the times we see this, we retrace, and then price continues to head down very quickly. There's no signal there, in my opinion, at least, that price is gonna go one direction or the other. Say, for example, we started seeing seller urgency here, and, or let's say we saw price come up, and then we started to see passive liquidity move up with price, then I could enter because I have some place that's a signal that buyer urgency or seller urgency that we're seeing. That's a confirmation signal for us to pull the trigger. In other senses, delta could potentially work as a stop loss region, but you have to be very, very careful because take a look at this region, right? These sellers were unable to push price lower. And look how that played out. It played out pretty nicely. And it played out here as well to an extent. You get an understanding as to where these sellers are strong, where those buyers are strong, right? But delta isn't as precise as actual order book limit orders, of course, right? So I mean, nothing really I could have taken there. Soon after this, we start seeing selling pop in. So we swept this upper liquidity, and sellers are coming in pretty strong now. What the hell? And that 6895 is a key liquidity down below. So I'll tell you exactly what happened in the first trade, right? So essentially in this first trade, we saw sellers come in and showcase their aggression via this delta, right? Now, this is aggressive selling. We like that. We didn't understand, we didn't even take into consideration this sell absorption region here. And looking in hindsight, that's definitely something we should have considered. So moving forward, we need to look at where sellers got absorbed and see if this is coming back to that level and how sellers are reacting at that region. In this case, we break through. Oh my God. Hold on. In this case, we do happen to break through, but as you can see, quickly after we buy back up to this relative liquidity region. And at this region, big buyers enter in, right? You see big buyers enter in near the top. But what do we notice throughout all of this, right? We noticed this in the last trade as well. But what do we notice now? Look how many seller icebergs there are. There's a crazy amount of seller icebergs that prevents price from heading higher. So in the first trade, we entered short pretty late as well, right? We entered short around here and we placed our stop loss around here, right? Because there is a little small barrier here. Significance isn't the greatest, but it is there. Placed our stop above there and wanted to take profit at 6895, but that would only be like 7 or 8 ticks, and our stop loss was like 17 ticks. So what did we do? We just extended our take profit to this lower liquidity at 6890 to target more like 25 ticks. But realistically, the strategy is to simply capture the liquidity where we're taking, because a lot of the times we just bounce from liquidity to liquidity level. And not always, of course, but typically if there is a reaction to this liquidity levels, you'll get stopped out. That's why we want to edge it, place our take profit at the edge region, or simply take profit at that region, not overextending your take profit to a lower region, especially in certain types of conditions like these, where when it's been chopping for the last, let's see, 20-30 minutes. But we retraced, came back up here. We saw big buyers entering in. You can see this big buyers indicator. And then we saw sells coming in, and then big aggressive selling coming in. Now, we wanted to take the shorts down here before. Now we came back down. Very aggressive selling is coming in after big buyers came in at a passive liquidity region. And we're starting to see some seller urgency as well, with the 6900 level increasing in passive liquidity. Seems to me that sells may control the market and we may head down to the 6900 region, 6890 region. So that's what I took. We entered around 6898. So literally right around here. Our stop loss was above 6900. So 6900.5 to avoid a little bit of wiggle room, 10 ticks. And where did we target? We targeted right above 6890 at 6890.5, and it worked out pretty nicely in our favor. Those big trades indicator literally pre-qualified the sells that would have came. Now, there's our take profit here. And we head all the way down to view up. So essentially, in a sense, these shorts were a version of a mean reversion play as well. We mean reverted back to view up. Now, let's see if there was any opportunity after this. Potentially there's something there, but not really seeing any, clear targets on the downside, really. So, shorts may have been good here at 6890 entry, so around here. But the thing is, where do we target on the downside, right? Because sellers are showing urgency. We flipped this major liquidity level. Now it's seller aggression. We may continue to fall. And we used up a lot of seller icebergs. Now seller icebergs are st st we still have a lot of seller icebergs, and the overall icebergs is negative, but look at what it's doing. It's basically almost positive now. Thus, that's showing us that there may not be as much passive seller aggression. As you see, we break through that and we fall down again, but nothing is really acting as a signal here in my eyes. Spread is quite thin there. Only like, yeah, spread is quite thin there. Trying to see when 10:15 was when we saw a little bit of buys. I'm trying to think, potentially these icebergs going from negative to majorly positive could have timed this reverse that we saw in the market. Maybe 11:45. I'm trying to first see at 10:40. But there's no signal here. I usually don't trade after 10 as well unless I see something I really, really like. Speaking of something I really, really like, there might be some opportunity here. Taking shorts down to 690, 6880. So down till here. But I need to see that buyer absorption. I mean, potential shorts could have been taken there, but nah, never mind. You cannot. That kind of iffy on that. Potentially could have taken shorts there. I don't know if I would have. Maybe I did. Maybe I wouldn't. It's quite iffy, but it would have played out if you take shorts here, play stop above their target this lower region. It would have played out, but it's kind of iffy once again. It's not the greatest. But now market session's over. So I'm just gonna go ahead and go to this 1040 region, see how icebergs are. Yeah, I mean, take a look at that, right? Look at the icebergs now. Very positive. So that may indicate potential bullish introduction. And at the 1020 candle, bullish does happen. I mean, buyer icebergs are still very high, so that's pretty cool to see. When it was at 11:35. Yeah, look at that. Look at the buyer icebergs. It's at 3,200, and that's very significantly high. That's very high in terms of buy icebergs. This is a key sign that there's lots of passive buying occurring around this region that's preventing sellers from heading lower, which can in turn drive prices upwards. And it sure did. But I mean, yeah, I mean, that's basically all I have here for today in today's market analysis segment. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment down below or join the completely free Discord server. The link is in the description down below. There's lots of free resources and I highly recommend you guys to check it out. Furthermore, if you want to check out the order flow tools which I'm using, like Addis footprint charts with the big trades indicator, the Delta profile here, the Bookmap live streams, those are linked in the descriptions down below as well. And they also have lots of free functionality to get yourself integrated today. Addis is one of our channel partners, but despite that, I use them. They're very nice. But if you are going to purchase anything, make sure to do your own research and think thoroughly before any decision that you make. For Addis, I don't really think any purchase is necessary. Maybe you have to do it for big trades. You don't even need big trades. But for the footprint, you can get delayed. You can get a delayed version for completely free, I believe, and it's pretty good. Like, no complaints with the free version for testing out strategy. So I recommend you guys to check it out. Other than that, I'll probably see you guys over the weekend or on Monday. So I guess I'll see you guys then. Goodbye.